And we are live on episode 7 of the Extinction podcast with Steve and James. Thank you for joining us, everyone. As you can see in the description, today we are covering euthanasia. Why don't you get us started, Steve?
Yeah. So I think I just wanted to keep this as a topic because mostly most of the society considers euthanasia sort of a bad word, right? So we live in a society who says that abortion is murder. So if you consider euthanasia, like most people are vehemently against such ideas. Um, Obviously, it stems from irrational, survival instincts to oppose, extinction, right? To oppose euthanasia. It arises from their survival instincts. But the thing is, there is a there is a huge there is a huge difference between euthanasia and murder, right? One is a intentional act of violence, right? That is intended to. um uh, a murderer intends to harm, right? Somebody who supports euthanasia intends to end the harm. There is a total difference, right? So a classic example of this would be what happens in animal industry, right? So what happens in animal industry? That's definitely murder. So what they do exactly is that they breed chickens, they breed cows, they breed pigs. They breed them according to the demand. Keep a steady supply of them. Enslave them, torture them, and then finally murder them. Right. So they want this thing to continue. They want to harm. So their intention is eating animals and not ending their suffering or anything, and they want to continuously do it, continuously harm, right? Compared to this, if you are euthanizing all the animals in animal industry, right, that means that those animals don't suffer anymore, right? They are gone, they are extinct, they don't suffer anymore, right? So that is the difference between murder and euthanasia. So one ends suffering, the other one is intended to cause suffering and does cause suffering.
Yeah. I think the confusion comes into place when, well, obviously, almost all euthanasia is against or without consent, right? But most people think of euthanasia as only being to, end someone's life if they're in a lot of pain at the end of their life, usually, or if you've run over an animal on the road, then euthanasia makes sense if you've got terminal cancer or something. So I think, obviously, you're right. Murder is for your own gain, right? It's you're doing it for selfish reasons. You're not doing it for anyone's benefit usually. But I think that is the confusion, Steve. That if you're euthanizing an entire species, right, you're not doing it because each and every one of them is ill, right? But obviously, it's like a mass euthanasia, which is because the species or life itself would be better off euthanized as a whole to avoid the suffering.
Yeah, so the thing is, those people who ask for, so as you said, some people are like, I'll only accept euthanasia for terminally ill and, an animal run over in the road who's suffering too much. So my thing is, that is exactly how the world is, right? So how sentience is, it's an injured animal continuously struggling, right? For because of suffering, right? And like, and the only thing that is going to end its suffering is euthanasia, right? So you won't be like if most of the parts of the animal, most of the organs are run over by a car, you won't be like there are still healthy organs. You just take them and keep them in some place safe, right? So what you do is you euthanize that animal. So same thing, like always, suffering is the priority, and rest of the things like privilege, privilege and being happy. That should justify the suffering. That doesn't justify the suffering. Actually, whatever suffering that exists in this world cannot be justified by um, you know the pleasures. The bad cannot be justified by the good. So the thing is, uh, this sentience is a continuously suffering, unnecessarily suffering animal, and it needs to be put down, right?
Yeah.
So humanity has a obligation to do this thing. So because we are the only ones who can, that is the thing. So um, the thing is that, like, I see a lot of pro-lifers who say like, if your leg is injured, will you like cut off your leg?
Or
But the thing
cut
is,
off your head.
leg is, yeah. So yeah, yeah. So the thing is, your leg is injured, and the infection is spreading, right? Even to your neighbors. So you are going to cut off your leg, right? So that is the same thing about life. So life is broken, right? It's infected with suffering, and like the thing is, if you let if you let life go on, if you let life keep proliferating, it means that, like, tomorrow there are going to be like thousands of no millions of rape victims, right? If you consider animals. So millions of, tomorrow there are going to be millions of rape victims. Tomorrow there is going to be like bombs dropped in places all over the world, and people suffering in war zones. Tomorrow there is going to be uh, 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 you know uh, uh, animals being abused in farms and slaughterhouses. Tomorrow there is going to be like animals killing each other for like no reason. Tomorrow there is going to be like cancer. So all these things, they are just going to uh, remain there like an infection, and more victims are going to keep being created, right? So suffering is an infection, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people tend to, because it's a complicated issue, but a lot of people tend to think of it as, are their lives as a total and as a whole worth living, right? But as you're saying, extinction or euthanasia would prevent people who are, or life that is alive, from going through horrible suffering in the future, right? It's not just about preventing life from being born. We can still prevent horrible suffering even for those that are currently alive.
exactly.
If they're going to be
So the
trapped
thing
in
is,
horrible suffering for 20 years, 30 years, we can prevent that.
that people are like total morons. They oppose euthanasia, right? But the thing is, life is actually so euthanasia is like gonna be like painless, right? So relatively painless. So you just think of
Relatively.
how people are naturally like dying. What are the things that kill people? Cancer,
Mm.
right? So like, yeah, even if you take animals, even the ones who escape all the predators, who just come to their old age, they die of multiple organ failures, right? Their kidney is gone, right? It's not able to do its function anymore. So it slowly that impurity starts building up in your body. Then you die a slow, painful death if your kidney is gone. Right. If you get cancer, if your immunity is not able to, due to aging, if your immunity is not able to suppress cancer, you die slow, painful death. And
Mhm.
this is not just for animals, even for humans. People are inventing medicines. But the thing is, medicine is just extending your suffering. You're going to die anyway, but you have to suffer old age for 10 or 20 more years. Right. Because medicine will extend your suffering that much. It'll make you like live longer, right? So even the technology that is supposed to end suffering is actually so actually I don't know, like uh, you know most old people who die, right? So they actually like suffer in hospitals a lot. Even the
Yeah.
technologies that are there to that are supposed to prevent suffering is actually making you suffer a lot. So life is giving you like bloody painful and gruesome pitiful death, right? So, so there is like literally no reason, like no logical reason. Even if you oppose death, there is no logical reason you should oppose euthanasia. So that is the exact thing that is going to fix everything.
Mhm. Yeah, it's very illogical, really, that euthanasia is illegal in most places. Like even where it is legal, they have to have several doctors approve and agree. So like the chance of there being anything untoward or wrong happening with the euthanasia is virtually impossible anyway.
Yeah, so the reason for euthanasia not being widely accepted is because of uh, programming of survival instincts. So in a democratic society, rational things will not be accepted, right? So majority matters. So if majority of the people are irrational, like they are going to support something that is irrational. That's why I think like euthanasia is illegal in many countries, and uh, people start to oppose euthanasia. But if you really dig into it, as I said, like nature is going to kill you like 100x more painfully. So like it's not just, as you said, it's not just about preventing birth of new sufferers, new potential victims. It's also solving, like even if you like even if it is theoretically, I'm just giving you a theoretical example. If it's like you can sterilize all the sentient beings in the entire universe, and there is another button where you can euthanize all the sentient beings in the entire universe, you should go for the button of euthanasia. That is the only thing that makes sense.
See, a lot of people seem to make the argument as well, Steve, that extinction is going to be horrifically painful for everyone. It's going to cause injury, suffering, if it goes wrong, or it could take a long time to kill. They're basically thinking that we're going to give everyone cancer and that it's going to take a year to kill them or something.
So okay, I'll give you two answers for this. One is, first thing is that we are the ones who are like going to engineer this extinction, right? So we are not like going to inject every being with cancer or anything. Right? I won't inject myself with cancer or whatever. So the thing is that like it is our obligation to ensure before causing extinction, to ensure that it will be thorough, right? So that nothing goes wrong and it'll come back, right? So what do we do? Like if we plan a mission to space, If we are planning a big waste cleaning project, if we are planning whatever scientific projects we plan, what do? We take measures to ensure minimization of risk, right? So we then we go ahead with the plan when we know that okay, there will be no risk. This will work out, right? So even when this particle accelerator was built in Switzerland, many people were opposing it. They were saying it will cause some kind of explosion. It
Black
might do
holes and stuff.
this. It might do this. It might do that. But the thing is, many people were afraid of it. But the thing is, they still run it, and nothing happened, right? Because they ensured that okay, this is these kind of controlled experiments we are going to do. So that this is why we are going to work on science. We are not some mad, you know, mad people who just do some weird shit. Like I don't know
Making a
what they are
Molotov
imagining.
cocktail in the garage or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not going to be like that. So we will work on it, right? So we are going to do, if we are the same thing we are going to do, building if we are building a particle accelerator to research on vacuum decay, we are actually going to take steps to ensure that okay, this is the right solution, this is the most thorough solution, this is painless, this will not fail, this will be thorough. So we will research on it, right? So we are just not going to go and okay, there is a button, I'll press it, done. It's not like that. So that is one thing. And the second thing is, like, theoretically, extinction is like more unlikely to be painful. Just a theory, like, right? So even if um, as you said, like people will get cancer and they'll have a painful death, they'll suffer for 1 year. Oh, you just imagine how many beings are going to be born if life continues, right? And how many beings are going to have cancer? How many beings are going to be suffering for many decades in a rapist basement or a war zone or animal farm or famine ridden zone in starvation? If you consider this, I don't think like it's if you put this in trolley problem, it's really one versus infinity is what I
Mhm.
always tell everybody. Like it's not even one versus five in trolley problem, it's one versus infinity. So
Mhm.
always prioritize the infinity, right? So it don't make sense to say that okay, uh, extinction is bad, even if that is the case.
Yeah, I think you have to bring it back to sort of the bigger picture, and always realize that the whole idea of extinction is logically sound, is based on the greater good, the greater suffering, and for me, when you put it into the context of cosmic extinction, right? I mean, the number of sufferers and potential victims outside of Earth, the potential is, I mean, I couldn't even articulate the number, that how much bigger it would
Yeah,
be,
it's
right?
it's
It's
impossible to tell. Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah.
it's a very, very big number, right?
Yeah, it probably is, considering even like there is a hypothesis called rare Earth hypothesis, with which hypothesis that Earth-like planets are very rare. But even in that case, like the universe is so vast, right? Like and we only have so much of observable universe. It goes beyond it, right? So we don't know where universe ends even at this point. Yeah.
How much pain is too much? Um, well, for me, I would say, we do get this kind of question a lot, right? If someone was in heaven and they had to get punched once a day, would we have a problem with it? No, that's fine, right?
It would be,
But
the system would still be meaningless and idiotic, but I probably won't be like fighting so hard against it. Yeah.
mhm. How much pain is too much? I would say if your life is not worth living at that point, right? Now that can be maybe you've had a okay life for 30 years, let's say, for example, and then you have a horrible death. Let's say you're tortured and murdered by a sadist over the course of a year, right? That event could, for you, in your experience, being the one suffering it, could make it so that your life wasn't worth living, right? So it's really about that, a little bit of pain could, is fine. Not all suffering is equal, I guess you could say. But the problem is that the suffering that does exist is far too overwhelming and punishing. There are far too many lives that it's not worth living.
Yeah, so I would like say that how much pain is too much. Exactly the much that is happening in this existence, right? So, like, what is happening? Like, see, I think James was talking about living an okay life for 30 years, then having a troubled life for 1 year or whatever. My point is that, like, there are victims who are like, newly born puppies, 45 days old puppies who are tortured and killed by sadists. Newly born zebras taken by hyenas right out of their womb, right? Women who are kidnapped at the age of 14 or 15, taken into sex slavery, who don't see the sun ever again. So this, I don't know, this much suffering is like unacceptable. Like, whatever pleasures you can mention, like, you cannot justify even one of these things. One of the things that I just said. And the thing is that these things, like, whoever, like, whatever other ideologies come, they are not able to find a solution for all these victims. There is always going to be a tortured puppy. There is always going to be a woman who's sold to sex slavery. Even animals are going to sold in sex slavery. Children are being sold in sex slavery. There's always going to be wars. There is always going to be a cancer. So I think that is like unacceptable. Even if once a year one child will be born with bone cancer, right? Just one child is going to die horribly. I'm going to still cause extinction of all sentient beings. No amount of pleasure or anything else in this world can justify it. So that much pain is just too much.
I would
Obviously,
go one step further and say that even the chance of making another
yeah,
person
that's
suffer
right.
or creature suffering is unacceptable. So if you could press a button and it gives you a chance of winning the lottery, but it also causes a 0.00001% chance of someone being born into horrible suffering, right? It would still be very immoral to push that button, even though you might get a reward. There's still a chance that someone's going to have, extreme suffering. So even allowing that a small chance of it happening is immoral, let alone how much of it is immoral.
Do you think humans will create and press the red button, or will the world or universe end naturally? Which one do you consider more likely? See, the thing is, it doesn't matter whether the natural extinction is more likely. Tomorrow, if an asteroid comes and hits Earth, then the idea of cosmic extinction is done for, right? So we cannot predict all this. But the thing is, we don't want to sit and wait for something naturally. It's something like an asteroid to save, children in war zones, or that would be like, expecting Jesus to save animals and like cancer victims and all that. So we don't believe in such bullshit. We will work for it, right? Future is not in our hands, to be really honest. Tomorrow, if If an asteroid hits Earth, the movement for cosmic extinction is gone. I mean, Earth will be extinct and all that thing will happen. And but as long as we exist, we have a moral obligation to fight for the most vast and thorough extinction possible. That is the thing. And the second thing is, will humans create like red button, like whether they will agree to create it? The thing is, I just recently read about a survey that was taken in 1958 about racism, and 94% of the people voted against black people, like white people marrying black people. They were racist, right? So, like in 1958, this is like, considering all of history, like this is not like that far. This is some 70 years or something, right? So, um, and it's very very unlikely that these people just changed their minds and started fighting for black rights immediately. The thing is, like, black rights activists, right? So civil rights activists, they were more intelligent. They just took use of the court, the legal system, which was like insulated from the majority vote, and they did a lot of other strategies, including boycotting, disruptions, etc. They used intelligent strategies. They gathered people, even it might be like 0.1% who believed that we should fight for black people. So they gathered that minority people, like clearly minority people, and they used intelligent strategies to achieve it. Right. So if they had waited for 94% of the people to change their mind, that would have never happened. So the thing is that we should do the same also. Like extinctionists should use the same strategy. So we shouldn't care about all these things, like whether humans will create and press the red button, whether asteroid will come. We should fight for it. We should make intelligent strategies. We should gather people who are empathetic, people who are rational, and we should fight for it. Ultimately, we can change the
Yeah.
system. We can.
And we
Yeah.
don't want to wait billions of years, which is how long it would take for the universe to end by entropy. That's billions of years of suffering that we would much rather prevent. So yeah, waiting around for it, not really an option, not for the victims that are going to suffer. Next question. Why do you think only life exists in Earth-like planets? I think Steve was just giving an example, really, because we already know that Earth-like planets are somewhat likely to have life, right? We can already draw the connection between Earth having life and say it's likely that other planets could have life if they're similar to Earth.
So
but
probably, like, the thing is that
we would definitely not just Earth like planet.
Yeah, so the thing is that
just saying, Steve, we wouldn't only planets. Sorry.
You're actually breaking up, bro. Your voice is breaking up.
Go ahead.
Okay, fine. So the thing is that probably if you just consider microbial life, it's probably very common in the universe. When I mentioned like Earth-like planets, I was talking about like more complex life forms, especially like sentient beings. So the thing is, like, large life forms, right? They need stable climatic conditions, uh, uh, um, um, a planet with which has magnetic shielding from Earth has a molten iron core which shields us from solar flares, right? Like one solar flare, if we don't have this magnetic thing, it can just sterilize the planet. And another thing is, Earth has a large moon, like relatively large moon. So this like this Mars and all that, they have like smaller moons, right? So they actually don't have the axial tilt that Earth has, so their climatic conditions are not very stable. It's like in the morning in equator regions of Mars, it will be like 25 degrees Celsius, and in the night it will be like minus 73 degrees Celsius. So this much harsh variations in climate in within hours, life cannot tolerate it, right? So this makes other like these kinds of planets like more. So Earth is a combination of factors like plate tectonics, water, oxygen levels, and magnetic core, and distance from sun, and sun's distance from galaxy, right? Center of galaxy. So the more you are towards the center of the galaxy, the more you the more the chances are that another star will come and collide with your star. So it's not going to be likely that like so life took 4 billion years to evolve, right? So it's not going to be likely that a star won't collide with sun, like if you are more towards the center of the galaxy, because star population is very dense there. So all these conditions are there, so which might make Earth like planets very rare. But the thing is, we don't know about exoplanets that much. We don't know whether they have iron core. We don't even have one single exo moon. We haven't discovered one single exo moon. So all these discoveries needs to be made, and then we can maybe like the chance of life, we can comment on it. But the thing is, even if it is rare, universe is so vast that there is no reason to believe that uh, it won't be abundant. Even if it is rare, it can be abundant because universe is so big, right? So uh, that's the thing that I said, like these conditions are like very very vital for these carbon atoms, like so for example, if you take a protein, right, so proteins make up your, so proteins are very important for you, right? They are building blocks of your body. So these proteins, they are not stable at higher temperatures, or they cannot perform their functions in lower temperatures. So fats, lipids will freeze at lower temperatures. All these things are there. So that's why I said, like if Earth is just taken and kept like a few million kilometers away, it will be too cold for life to have formed and led a stable led into a stable evolution, and thus a civilization or sentient life. So that's why I said, like um, Earth like planets will have life. Microbial life might be very common in the universe. That is not at all like, because we already found nucleotides which make up your DNA, the molecules which make up your DNA, and fatty acids and amino acids which make up protein in meteors that hit Earth. So we have found traces of it, like proper organic molecules that give rise to life. We have found it in asteroids.
Okay, what if after causing a cosmic extinction, a trillion years later, a new universe is born again?
See, the thing is that is why I say that, like extinctionism is a movement that is highly dependent on research, right? You cannot just make something up and say that okay, universe will be, like we cannot answer it right now, like whether a universe will be born again, right? Whether big crunch. So there is a theory called big crunch. This expanding universe will just start contracting again, then go back to the infinitely dense point and start a big bang again. The theory, though it cannot be, the some evidences are against it, but it cannot be disproved. So the thing is, science needs to answer, like 21st century. We are just starting to develop technology. It's very amazing that we know this much about the universe at this point. Like 100 years ago, we were like literal Literally, like we didn't even have any computer, right? So the thing is, science needs to answer it. And if even if it is like, if we cause extinction, a universe will be born again, or only this much extinction we are going to cause. We are just going to, again, as I repeatedly say, we should just go for the most vast and the most thorough extinction possible, because that's what you can do. So you cannot like create magic, right? So you have to work within the laws of science. And most people think that, like technology can, like if it keeps evolving, it can make magic happen. It's not true. It has limitations. It has to work within the laws of physics. We have to work within the laws of physics. So if it is not going to be possible to cause extinction more than our Milky Way galaxy, or if it is not going to be possible to cause more extinction more than our solar system, we cannot go beyond that. That is the thing.
Yeah. I mean, cosmic extinction as a project could potentially take hundreds of years, maybe even thousands. Who knows? I
Exactly.
think it's likely that during that time, the science will develop a lot more than what we've got now, right? So,
Yeah.
if there is any chance of preventing another universe from being born, I'm confident that the science will offer a much better view on that question in the next few hundred years, basically. If there is a chance that we could do it and prevent it from happening, I'm sure the extinctionists would definitely do it.
Yeah. But for now, we can actually start euthanasia projects for both wild animals and farmed animals. So I won't say like we can eradicate farmed animal suffering, we can eradicate wild animal suffering, because if we can do it, we wouldn't need like a total thorough extinction. But the thing is that, like, animals are like totally unnecessary, like for human survival. And there are going to be, even if like we euthanize all the farmed animals, there is going to be a moron who's going to grow some chickens and in his basement and eat them. There are going to be some wild animals who cannot be reached and euthanized, uh, or like parallelly running a society who's researching on cosmic extinction, right? So we also have an obligation to do that, but the main objective should be extinction as vast as possible and as thorough as possible, because anything less will be, so we might think that, okay, as James said, it might take thousands of years. How much humans should suffer till then? You might feel like that, but the thing is that, like, if cosmic life is very abundant, right? Not even very abundant, it's there is no reason to think that it's non-existent. It is existent somewhere. There is going to be, like, the vastness of universe, there is going to be life that is going to be possible. So if we don't like check for it, like I don't think it makes sense to only take care of ourselves. So it's gonna be like that life is going to suffer. So I'm not gonna advocate for something that is irrational. Like, it would be the same, like, close all these vegans are saying, right? So close all the farms and slaughterhouses and reforest it so that wild animals can suffer. If you don't check for cosmic extinction, this would be the same case. So we are saying that only life on earth deserves peace. Yeah.
Is it possible to build a big engine and push the Earth into the sun?
No.
No.
Move on.
Definitely not.
So I think, like, if you are I think, yeah, Suchit, what you can do is, after this video, so the thing is, we will not be able to give you any links here, I guess. What you do is after the live is completed, you drop a comment on the video. We'll give you our Discord group. If you are someone who wants extinction, you can join there. I would say like we shouldn't promote any impractical ideas as an extinctionist, right? So, you're just asking a question. That's fine, but these kinds of like this is not like scientific, and we shouldn't tell these things as a solution. Yeah.
So yeah, I think we've covered really. Is extinction murder? No, right? It's euthanasia. It's a selfless thing to reduce suffering, right?
Yeah.
I think all of these confusions and strange questions about it, like isn't it murder? It just seems like pro-lifers can't really or don't really care or think about or empathize with the victims that we're actually trying to help, right? They think about it, and the actual intention of extinctionism, the victims it's trying to help, it doesn't enter into their mind for even 1 second, right? It's just me, 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 me. I don't want to go extinct. Fuck everyone else.
Yeah. So that is classic narcissism, right? Yeah. So the thing is, I like uh, they will be like yeah, uh, these animals getting raped, the children getting raped, and these wars, all these things. Yeah, it is bad until it comes to giving up their privileges to stopping it. That is classic narcissism. That's it. So like, I don't think like so. If anybody who is like um, saying I won't give up my privileges, I want pleasure, so I whatever happens, I will not accept extinction, I will not accept a permanent solution, because I think everybody knows this fact that as long as life exists, there will be suffering, right? So and utopia is like totally impossible to eradicate all suffering. So always suffering is going to be there. Every adult on this world knows this fact. uh, so if they don't accept extinction, if they are like, I'm against euthanasia, I'm against extinction because my pleasure, they deserve the same moral consideration as being treated like a sadist or a rapist, right? He's saying the same. The sadist and rapist say the same thing. They say that if for my pleasure I'm going to torture this animal, for my pleasure I'm going to rape this woman. So I don't see there is a difference between that and pro-lifers who are like uh, for my pleasures, I don't want to give up my pleasure, and I don't want to accept extinction. They are the same thing.
So, do you think that they're being honest though, Steve, when they say, "Oh, extinction is murder"? What about the joy in life? What about the happiness and everything? Do you think they're being honest, or is that actually how they feel? Do
Yeah,
they really
I
think?
think I think that it is a uh, it is a manipulation from so this optimism and all these things. They are manipulations done by society, right? So the thing is, I can show you many interview videos of mine where people don't accept pressing the red button at the beginning, and when we clear them about like all the just statistics, okay, per day this much children are being raped according to UNFAO, per day this much animals are being abused. I have seen some people instantly change their answers, right? So just some people, not everybody. So these people are also like pro-lifers who are being like manipulated by the society into believing that we should be optimistic. we should have hope, and yin and yang, all these kind of bullshit concepts, they are manipulated with it. But the thing is, for the rest of them, they are either like total narcissists who are like total oppressors, or like total dumb morons who can't overcome their survival uh, stuff, instincts that are programmed into them.
Hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's the survival instinct or impulse and like a status quo. Um, and I think it's also like a simplification of morality, right? In within the status quo, most people, you know, murder is bad, forced euthanasia would be bad, and that's pretty much it, really. Don't rob people, don't steal, don't be mean. It's a very kind of simple morality that works for the status quo and the system continuing, and they don't
Exactly.
seem to be able to move outside
So even this narcissists are like, so I'll just accept these moralities. So even the subjectivists, narcissists, people who believe anything can be done, they just want like this status quo, right? So they don't want their family to be harmed. So like I think we had a debate in this very channel with a pro-lifer who was like, um, we can it's natural, it's evolution, we can harm anybody, we should only take care of our family. So I told him that's how another person will think, and maybe let's say I think that, and I just come and harm your family. That time he is like, no, 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 you shouldn't harm your family. Like that time you need to be moral. So this guy was like a moral nihilist. He was like, don't follow any morality. Morality is unnecessary. Like follow whatever your survival instincts, nature made you to do. Right. So just be ruthless. And then he's like, when it comes to his family, no, you don't harm my family. I need laws. I need morality. So this is like, the system is like, whatever is morality, the system has just a design to protect humans and protect themselves, their family, and individuals. Right. So every individual is accepting it because they don't want to be harmed. Right. That's it. So they are not like moral at all. They are like a bunch of evil narcissists. So this is what happens in uh, all these social justice movements. Like majority of the people, they want to oppress. They want to. They are narcissists. But these activists, they just make they just shake the economy, shake the system, make it like undoable, right? Stop the entire system so that they are forced to give rights to black people or forced to give rights to women. This is what has happened. Yep. So always only that 0.1% people are going to be empathetic towards others. It's not going to change anytime soon.
Yeah, I'd like to think it's a bunch of different factors coming together. The status quo is kind of where most people start out, right? But the status quo is inherently selfish and narcissistic or leaning towards it, right? Um,
Exactly.
Empathy and selflessness isn't really encouraged that much. It's more about like some very vague kind of wishy-washy values that kind of look shiny and feel nice and cool, but doesn't really go deep or deep enough. And I think with pro-lifers as well, they kind of just see life in general as being a cool thing, like some cool concept. Oh no, let's not get rid of it. It's too interesting, right? Um, Now, it's only usually when an extinctionist brings up the morality to someone, that they'll actually have to think about it. Because in mainstream media and in life in general, the question of extinctionism never comes up ever, right? So for most people, it will be a new question that they've never thought about, right? And then that's when you have, it really separates the empaths from the non-empaths, I think, Steve.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you consider 200 years ago, mainstream media wasn't even now not much they are talking about it, but they weren't talking about animals as a victim, right? So it started at a point, and the chain reaction continued, and until a point where it came to a little bit more light. Maybe tomorrow, animal victims will be in even more spotlight. So that is the thing. Even the status quo, right? So the status quo is selective. You don't care. If you bring a law saying that Indian children can be raped, someone in UK, like majority of the people in UK, is not going to like come and fight against this thing. So their status quo is maintained, right? So yeah, no, like the world governments, right? Major players in the all over the world, like they can just go and rescue every single children from Gaza. They have the power to do so. They won't do it, right? Everybody knows this fact. So the thing is, it's about status quo for you. So you are not going to question anything if there is status quo for you, right? Only empaths are going to question that. People didn't question when there is no status. That's what I'm saying. Like that 94% of the people didn't question the status quo for whether it is there, whether these people have welfare for black people. There's 1% of the empaths who minded that, right? So that is always going to be the case. Yeah, your video is stuck.
Oh, yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think, if you try and reverse and undo the indoctrination of the status quo, you try and logically point out to someone how extinction is the right thing. Like you said, most people are still going to reject it, even after you've made it basically impossible to disagree with, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
It is impossible to agree with racism, right? When even now, majority of the people are indeed racists. In one form or another, they are racists. Like they might be racist to Muslims, they might be racist to black people, they might be racist to immigrants, but racism still exists in majority. You can't deny that.
Yeah, so even extinction is going to be quite an uphill battle, I think, in the same way as fighting racism.
Exactly.
But gay marriage, for example, black and white marriage, etc., that has become the status quo, the mainstream, right? So those movements were successful, at least in certain countries, right? Not everywhere, obviously. So eventually extinctionism should become the status quo, right?
Yeah. So the thing is, at a point, you have to realize that nothing helps. You can achieve black rights, but you can never stop white people from bullying black people, white supremacists from bullying black people. So you can achieve LGBT. So even in India, it was recently achieved. Like LGBT relationships were approved by the Supreme Court of India. But you just check the comments of any Pride March videos. So, like, this is not even about like suffering or anything, right? So the thing is, this is like total bullshit ethics. People just want to take a peek at other people's window, see who's having sex with who, and judge it. And this type of ethics is followed by majority. Purity based ethics. Okay, you shouldn't have sex with another man. A man shouldn't have sex with another man. A woman shouldn't have transformed into a man. I don't accept queers, asexuals, non-binary people. I don't accept all these things. You just go and take a video of a totally right-wing people who are trying to bully gay people. Even in those countries which you say that these things are established, right? Developed countries where these things are mainstream. You go and see the videos that are posted by morons who are against LGBT community, right? You see the comments. How many people support anti-LGBT thing? How many people are homophobic? How many people are transphobic? How many people like videos that are disgustingly portraying transgender people? You just take a look at how many likes they are getting. It's in millions, right? So you can, even if you achieve rights, their problems are not solved, to be really honest. So there is not going to be like, so this is the thing. So even if the majority are against LGBT, this LGBT movement, these other movements, right? They used intelligent strategies to bring change. But even in some politically harsh countries, they are still not able to. Even this Russia doesn't approve LGBT, I think. So, so at the end of the day, like even for LGBT, there is like a lot of countries like that are opposing it, and people are still fighting for it. And political climates are so harsh, and they are jailed for doing activism. So all these things are going to come for extinctionism also. But despite that, just like LGBT movement or civil rights movement, we shouldn't count on majority support. It will never come. Never come. Even for LGBT, it will never come. People will be opposing LGBT people. They are disgusted by man having sex with a man. Right? They are never going to change. Their animal like racism, aggression towards other races, other different people, these kinds of things are never going to change. But what we should do is we should use intelligent strategies to uh, you know achieve victories. You shouldn't count on majority support. It will probably never come for any movement.
What do you think of aponism?
So aponism is veganism combined with anarchism, right? So the thing is that I actually believe that a politically stable climate, right? So an economically rich country, an economically, you know, if people are not suffering from poverty too much, these are actually scientific facts that uh, if people don't have that much poverty, if people have good nutrition, all these things, they are likely to be more empathetic. They are likely to think about others, because like if you are in poverty, like you have to think about yourself. There are exceptions, I won't say no, but the thing is, mostly like you'll be thinking about yourself, like getting out of the poverty, getting yourself some food, right? So the thing is that um I will support any political system, right, which promotes, which promotes, which reduces poverty. Things that work against empathy. So scientifically, there are some things in society that can effectively work against empathy. Effectively, so empathy and rationality is all about genetics. That also depends on like the environment you grow up in, right? where society plays a major part. So there are things in society, like lack of nutrition, poverty, all these things that actually prevent you from thinking logically and thinking empathetically. So these kinds of things, like whichever political system that is going to be against all these factors which are hindering empathy and uh, uh, you know uh, 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 rationality, for especially in children, I'm going to be against that political system, right? So whichever political system is supporting these factors, supporting a stable environment where kids can develop empathy and rationality so that they can understand cosmic extinction and work for it, I'm going to support that political system. But except that, I don't have any I don't personally support any political ideology or other movements. So extinctionism is very adaptable. Whatever is needed, whatever is totally necessary, whatever is beneficial for cosmic extinction, the most vast and most thorough extinction possible, whatever is beneficial for it, we will support it. Rest of the things we don't care about it. So if tomorrow, if veganism becomes an enemy, hindering, already we criticize vegans for not including wild animals and all that. But tomorrow, if there is a necessity, I'm just saying hypothetically, if there is a necessity that you have to eat meat uh, for you to benefit cosmic extinction, for you to benefit the cause of total extinction, I'll say extinction is to eat meat. I'm saying this hypothetically for clarity. It's not going to be like that. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Does
Yeah, and the
extinction?
same thing goes to veganism also. If tomorrow you need to be vegan, I'll ask all the extinctionists to be vegan. I'll say like no, extinctionists should be non-vegan, and I will advocate for that. So it's very adaptable. That's
Extinction doesn't
extinction.
really care about nihilism. Atheism aligns with rationality more so, I guess. But things like nihilism and atheism, we don't really think about or concern ourselves with. If someone says, "Yeah, I'm religious and I want to be extinctionist," we're probably gonna see that as a red flag. But we don't really ask everyone, "Are you atheist?" or anything. Um, I would imagine or presume if you're an extinctionist, you're probably going to be atheist. But we're not nihilist. That's basically like ethylism almost, in
No,
that
no,
it's
no,
just a waste of time.
no, no, no. Like the thing is, there are different types of nihilism. You are just saying the word nihilism, right? So the thing is, do we believe there is a point to life? There is a point to us, Christians and all believe there is a grand plan, which God has set into motion. That kind of thing we don't believe. We don't believe there is a grand purpose. So we are nihilist at that aspect, right? We don't believe there is a huge meaning to existence, because there isn't. Like whatever meaning you say, I can just easily counter it with child rape or any single suffering that is going on. So whatever meaning you bring to me, okay, this is the meaning in the world, I can just easily counter your argument. So there isn't a meaning. But the thing is, like, there is also moral nihilism, right? So moral nihilists believe that there is no morality, you can do anything you want. So we cannot, like, if you say nihilism, we cannot believe in moral nihilism. Right. There are some nihilists. There is a type of nihilism where you should be like, uh, you shouldn't contribute to any cause, and you have to like go and enjoy yourself. Life is meaningless, so just enjoy and die. We don't support that kind of nihilism. And atheism, yes, I think. I think in extinctionism, we criticize all kinds of irrationality. So we aren't theists, and if anybody comes and says that okay, God exists inside my group, I'm gonna criticize it. It's unscientific. I'm gonna criticize it. We like to maintain extinctionism as a practical and rational movement. That's what we want.
Okay.
Vacuum decay can destroy multiverse. How are you? So I think this is the person who asked why should uh, why should only Earth like planets have life? I'm asking you the same thing. Like, why do you believe there is a multiverse? It hasn't been proven yet. So my point you should clearly understand. Okay, I'll repeat myself. It's not an issue. So we don't know whether there is a multiverse or whether universe is going to form again. Big crunch is real, or heat death is real. What is the fate of universe? We don't know. We have certain evidences pointing towards heat death in trillions of years later, trillions. Within that, like there are a lot of it's highly likely that more planets are, because metallicity of the universe is increasing. So I cannot take time to explain this thing. This is a little bit in detail. You can Google it. Metallicity of the universe is increasing, right? So it's more likely that planets like Earth are going to form, and we are going to go ahead, research the universe more, and we are going to cause the most vast and most thorough extinction possible. So tomorrow, if there is, as James said, tomorrow if they find out that there is a multiverse and there is a possibility of life in other universes, and if there are theories like vacuum decay, which is able to cause multiversal extinction, right? We are going to go for it. When it comes that okay, we cannot destroy the multiverse, we can only limit the extinction. So if we know for sure only extinction of Milky Way is possible, only extinction of Earth is possible, when we know this for sure, when we are 100% confident this is the case, when we have discovered like unbreakable physical laws that suggest this, we are gonna stop there. Right now we only know like not even know like 10% of physics. And there is quantum mechanics and Planck scale physics. We haven't gone into that. We don't even know 10% of physics, not even 10%. So we cannot take any decisions as of now. We have to do research more. See what is the case. What is the universe? We should research more. We know about Big Bang, right? So next things we have to search about it. Whether M theory is true or any other theory is true. We have to research about it. After that, I believe extinctionists should take rational decision. Okay, they shouldn't be impractical saying that do something that is impossible, and they shouldn't limit the extinction. Like when something more is possible, more optimal extinction is possible, they shouldn't limit. So they should be practical and ethical and cause the most vast extinction and thorough extinction possible. That is the thing. So I can repeat this. Like even if you ask 1,000 times, I am ready to repeat it. I think a lot of people it seems very simple, but a lot of people are not able to get it at the first go. So I'm going to, without any hesitation, I'm going to repeat it how much ever it is needed. This is our goal.
Right, we have one more question on Discord, which is from Utmost Sonar, and they're asking, do you have concrete, actionable paths towards the goal? Do you have a real plan for extinction? What does it look like? What sort of technology are you going to basically commit genocide? How are you going to do extinction?
I mean, I think we have answered all of it. Like, should we? So the thing is, that is the podcast. That is what this podcast is all about. There is a total difference between genocide and extinction, right? So what they are doing in farms and slaughterhouses, right? Producing animals again and again and killing them for their benefits. That is massacre. That is Holocaust, genocide. Right? Murder. Right? If you are euthanizing all the farmed animals tomorrow, making them extinct, making them like stopping their suffering, tomorrow all the cows, all the chickens, pigs are euthanized. That is like you cannot say that is the same as those idiots who are oppressing them, right? Somebody is exploiting them, running a business and killing them off. There is a difference between him and me saying that like euthanize them, and that is why we need to practice using different words. There is a difference. I am ending their suffering tomorrow. They are going to suffer and die horribly, and these oppressors. They are saying that I will continuously breed these animals, and I will continuously keep killing them. Right. So there is a difference between me and him, right? I'm saying like euthanize them, end their suffering. They're done. Like they don't have to suffer anymore. They don't have to keep coming into existence and being put in cages, raped in the name of artificial insemination and killed. So he is saying that I will murder everybody. You are not. So these morons, they don't question actual people who are committing genocide. Actual people who are committing Holocaust, actual people who are having slaves, right? But euthanasia is genocide. People who are continuously breeding them, making them come into, making 70 billion farmed animals come into existence again and again every year, putting them in cages, raping them with a steel rod in the name of artificial insemination, right? Putting a hole in the stomach of a cow in the name of cannulation, right? Force feeding animals, starving male animals because to death because they are starving and grinding male animals because they are useless to the farms. These people are not committing genocide, right? The people who are asking for their euthanasia to end their suffering, they are the ones who are causing genocide, right? That's a really great point to make. A very empathetic, very rational point to make.
Okay. The guy on Discord is still thinking that extinction is impossible. He says, point me to a viable solution. That would be interesting.
I think we have done a podcast already for that. I cannot
Yeah.
do another podcast, right? Already we this podcast is for euthanasia. I think we have explained euthanasia. If I explain every aspect about extinctionism in every podcast will be at least 10 to 20 hours. So
Well,
I
I think
think
that's probably good for today.
I think these people who so we are actually giving a concrete plan in every podcast, like every video we make about how extinction, right? We have mentioned what is the plan, like very clearly, like extinction. I think extinction as vast as possible and as thorough as possible. I would have said this statement like at least like 1,000 times in my life, at least. So like these people, they don't spend like 1 or 2 hours of their time watch these contents, watch how extinction seminar, how extinction podcast, how extinction video. They don't spend 1 or 2 hours in life to do that. Well, I mean, 1 or 2 hours they don't spend for the victims, for raped children. Like, okay, these people are claiming to have a solution. They are claiming to have a plan, like to end all these wars and cancer and animal abuse and everything. So let me just spend 3 fucking hours in my life and watch these 3 videos. So what they have to do is they just want to entertain with us, right? So they just want to ask this question. If we send the video link, they'll be like explain in text, explain in this podcast. Like why I have to do that? Why I have to take 1 or 2 hours of my time to explain this again and again, like every single day? Because I'm receiving this question every single day. You are not willing to like take 2 or 3 hours of your time, then you are a bullshitter, right? You don't really, you are a narcissist piece of shit who doesn't really care about animals or victims or anything. You are just coming here to entertain with us. I don't think such people should be entertained. We have clearly explained all the actionable plans. Just give them the link. If they are not willing to watch, if they are not willing to spend 1 or 2 hours of their time, okay, to watch these videos, how extinction podcast, seminar, and all that, they are literally not interested in victims, helping victims. So I don't really care about them. They are a narcissist piece of shit. Can do go and do anything they want. Yep. And I would say just say that remove those kind of people. Like don't even give them any attention. They are probably some trolls who just look for some entertainment. They
Most
are that 94% who voted black people and white people shouldn't marry. They are in that like circle.
Mhm.
They are never going to listen.
Okay, thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you
Yep.
next week with another brand new topic, and we can't wait.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yep. Bye
All
everybody.
right. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you later.